Okay, off we go. I'm casually attired today because I have no meetings, and I'll admit because I thought our next taping day was tomorrow. I did comb my hair though, not bad for 77 years old if I may say so myself. In the modules that immediately follow, I'm going to take a close look at the making of a good, or even better, a great nonfiction book. Writing, editing, covers, front matter, endorsements, the whole shebang. Obviously, a fair number of this series viewers will already have their books in hand or currently available to be downloaded. But even if you're in that camp, I strongly urge you to watch these sections. If nothing else, I think you'll find them very interesting. Yes, I'm biased. But much more importantly, you'll probably write again or have the chance to make some adjustments before a reprint. And of course, it's relatively easy to modify your ebook. That will give you the opportunity to put some or even much of this advice to work. Plus, a lot of the thinking and ideas here can be applied when developing your marketing materials, website, Facebook page, etc. Much more about those things later. It may catch you a bit off guard how fired up I get about some parts of this section. I mean, what kind of weirdo holds incredibly passionate opinions about, for example, the placement of the acknowledgements page? This kind of weirdo. How did I develop these incredibly strong opinions? Where do these observations and associated pieces of advice come from? Sadly, not from my superior intellect, trust me, that doesn't exist, nor from amazing book marketing instincts, I only wish. No, they come from a much wiser source, an all-knowing source, in fact, the only source that truly matters, readers. A quick, I promise, story. One night years ago, I was about to take The Wealthy Barber to the printer. I had a huge confidence crisis, almost a bit of a panic attack. I'm embarrassed to admit it. Who's going to take financial advice from an unheard of 26-year-old writer, I worried. Plus, what do I know about book marketing and distribution? To try to regain my mojo, I sent the first 4 chapters to 3 well-known people in the financial field, 2 journalists and a mutual fund company CEO. I assured myself all would be well when they liked it, but they didn't. None of them. I was devastated, truly. I came this close to packing in the whole project. Instead, though, in an act of desperation, I tried one more thing. An effort that, without any exaggeration, ended up being by far the smartest move of my career. I tested the same 4 sample chapters on the 12 guys on my slow pitch team, a dozen near illiterate beer-swigging jock wannabes. Of course, it took them months to read the 50 pages, but they all loved the book, all of them. As important as the confidence boost, I lucked into discovering the greatest book improvement tool available, market testing. These guys were my target audience. If they found a section boring, other readers probably would too. If there were questions that they wanted answered that weren't already in the book, I obviously ended up weaving them in. Their collective feedback was hugely impactful and played a big role in bettering the manuscript and helping it to go on to sell millions and millions of copies. Well, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not an idiot either. So we started testing everything, and I mean everything. Covers, about the authors, dedications, heck, even various approaches to table of contents layouts. We were borderline obsessive compulsive about this method. What's more, we've had hundreds and hundreds of the people asking us for publishing help do the same with every aspect of their projects. They couldn't believe how much it improved their work, how much they learned, and very interestingly, how much they enjoyed the process. It makes everything more dynamic, more fun. In essence, for 20 years, we were running one big publishing lab with an amazing number of tests covering every aspect of book creation over an incredible variety of nonfiction topics. We learned how to test, and this is key, how not to test. Even a not so observant guy like me could see important patterns emerging from the feedback. So much of the conventional wisdom, the accepted approaches from the traditional publishing industry was at odds with what the tests were consistently telling us. It was no coincidence that many of the testers' books sold huge quantities because of word of mouth. We knew readers would love the books before they were even released. How? Because readers had loved the books before they even released. Now, in fairness to the big publishers, I should note that over the last few years, many of them have started producing books incorporating lots of the ideas and thoughts and techniques we'll look at shortly. And as I mentioned in the course introduction, when I've spoken for the Reader's Digest and Random Houses of the world, they've been open-minded to this material. And actually, I'd go a step further and say I've found them extremely enthused about it. Don Zier, a former executive at Reader's Digest and now president and CEO of Nutrisystem, an exceptionally sharp person, remarked to me after a speech, "Some of my favorite points here seemed obvious, but we missed them. The perils of legacy thinking and of groupthink." Interesting observation. I'm sure you can tell I'm beyond excited about sharing all of our learnings. I think you'll be surprised at the detail. So I'll wrap up this intro now. Yes, finally. Even though it's a bit out of order, I'm going to start this section with a look at the aforementioned acknowledgements page because it honestly does fire me up. Odd, I know.